Good evening. Welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. It is June 12th, 2024. This is episode 196. Stand-up comedian and actor Paul Green coming to you, documenting my journey as I follow my big and lofty goals and dreams. I hope all of you are doing fantastic. Let's see. Where do we begin? Obviously, I've sort of shifted my release time of these episodes. I used to try to release them in the morning, and I've just shifted my whole day and schedule, and now these are coming out at night. Maybe one day I will try to flip it back around and see if I can get these coming back out at 8 in the morning, but it is proving rather difficult, and I'm kind of behind the 8 ball, which means I would need to release one of these, about 9 hours after releasing the previous one. So we'll see if I can get myself back on track, but there has just been a tremendous amount of stuff going on in this journey. So I got 2 big shows coming up that I have been advertising very heavily. One of them is almost sold out. Very excited about that. And that will be happening in JP's Comedy Club in Gilbert, Arizona, tomorrow night, or probably tonight, depending on when you are watching that. So very, very excited about that. The next show will be this Sunday at the Tempe Improv. Now, that show, there's a chance it may not happen, unfortunately. The ticket sales are incredibly low, and earlier today we met with our advertiser again and just looked at the numbers, and we, in essence, just decided to double down and just say, well, we've sold X amount of tickets. We've spent about this much money. If we up the budget, can we anticipate selling enough tickets to make up the difference? And we launched all those campaigns today. It's been about 12 hours, and we have sold 0 tickets with our updated campaigns and our updated budgeting, which is very concerning because we got a lot of ground to make up. So we'll see. We'll see if a miracle happens and all of these new ads, maybe they just hit like a windfall and we just start seeing a huge influx of ticket sales coming in the next couple of days. But barring that happening, there's a good chance that show on Sunday will have to be canceled, which is incredibly frustrating, but also sort of part of this whole journey. And, I don't know, I've heard throughout the years that you always just need to appreciate where you're at this time, because there will come a time when you'll miss those days. And I just try to think of a time of, man, remember back in the day when I had to struggle to even sell tickets at a show, at a club that's 4 miles from my house in the town that I was pretty much raised in. And maybe there will come a time where I will look back at those days and go, ha, 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 ha. Was I ever so unpopular? And truthfully, I'm just enjoying this new leg of the journey because, truthfully, I've never really approached stand-up comedy from the business side as much as I have been in this pretty recently, within just about the last maybe 6 months, to where I really started to turn my focus from trying to be an artist to trying to be a producer and producing my own art and finding ways to market and to brand and to sell tickets to my own shows. And trying to understand and comprehend that side of it and seeing how I can become successful on that side of things. And because at the end of the day, as a performer, we really are just glorified ticket salesmen, because somebody's got to sell the tickets. And if it ain't you, then that means there's got to be another producer who has to get a venue and put up money and put up marketing and try to get an audience and try to put together a product that an audience would want to see. And then, and they're usually the last to get paid, if they get paid at all. And that's the name of the game that I'm stepping into. But the plus side of that is all of that work and effort could potentially turn into building a brand that is consistently marketable and that we could potentially tour with. I'm saying we, if this is your first time joining me, I partnered up with a comedian friend of mine whose name is Josh, and an incredibly funny comedian, and we started a podcast in his living room at his house. And then a few episodes in, we had where I was given an opportunity to produce a show at my home comedy club. And I just thought, oh, it would be really fun to film this podcast live in front of an audience, kind of like a live studio audience taping almost. And that was the marriage of those two ideas, or those two opportunities, the podcast opportunity and then the opportunity to produce a comedy show at this club. And the first show went phenomenal, and we're about to have our second show, and it sold even better than the first show. And we had more of a head start on marketing. So just very excited to do the show and hopefully be able to expand the show. And ultimately, the goal always was to, I say always, because this has been a long plan. I started this podcast, or me and my buddy started this podcast about 2 months ago. And there was no plan other than, hey, let's just get together and do this podcast. And it's really just taken on a life of its own. Very quickly, it escalated to us really creating a separate entity from our two comedic brands, because I have my comedic brand, he has his comedic brand. We all have our own websites and social media, but then at the same time, we now are combining forces, and we've created sort of this third entity out of the marriage between the two of us. And it's just been a lot of fun, very exciting, cool opportunities happening on that front. And would it be nice if we had a little bit of a miracle and could move a bunch of tickets so that the Tempe Improv show didn't get canceled? That would be very cool. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So other than that, I had a very unique first time in my life experience this evening, a little earlier this evening. So what had happened was, about a month ago, I get involved with a murder mystery company, and I get booked to do this murder mystery. As part of that, I get introduced to another actress who was very talented, and she and I were playing like a husband and wife couple in this murder mystery. So after that experience, this actress says, hey, I work for one of those princess live entertainment companies. Parents hire, Elsa to come out to their, 5-year-old daughter's birthday party type thing, whatever princess they're into. And she goes, and we do get requests for a handful of male characters and superheroes and Batman and Captain America, et cetera, et cetera. And she goes, we're always looking for men who are reliable and can show up. And she said, you should do this. And, you make a couple bucks. So I was like, whatever. It wasn't really something I was necessarily, seeking out, but it found me, and I went, well, okay, it's a way to perform. It's still a performance in a different context, but still a performance, and I'm getting paid to show up and, act like Batman for a bunch of 10-year-old boys for a couple hours. So, I had my first gig today, and the character I was hired to play was a YouTube children's star, or a children's YouTube channel star named Blippi, who's just kind of an over-the-top, flamboyant, kids sensation. And he has this huge YouTube channel, and I guess is very successful as this Blippi character, to where now there are kids who are requesting Blippi, or the parents, it's always the parents, the parents want Blippi for their kids. So I got hired to play Blippi. So I show up and to this house, and it was for a 2-year-old boy who was adorable, by the way. And so for the next hour, just sat in this playroom with the parents and 5 or 6 relatives who just filmed me nonstop for an hour while this 2-year-old kid is just playing with me, and it barely even comprehends who I am. I'm just going, how in the heck did I end up wearing bright orange glasses, bright orange suspenders, and a goofy little hat, and, entertaining it was pretty much just playtime with a 2-year-old. And so I did that, got tipped very well, and I'm not going to say it was fun. To be honest, I was a little kind of whatever. I don't know. I don't like being negative. I always try to be grateful and happy for opportunities that come my way, but I'm definitely not, this wasn't definitely a dream of mine to dress up as a YouTube childhood or children's YouTube star and, play vegetables with. He was totally adorable too. I mean, he was a lot of fun. He was super fun to play with. I think at first he didn't really understand what was going on. I mean, how could he? He's 2. And then I don't even think he knew that I was supposed to be Blippi until about 30 minutes in. Then it seemed like he started to realize that the guy on the balloon, so he had a Blippi balloon, and then his mom bought him a Blippi doll, and then I was like, I'm Blippi, 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 and then he was like, Blippi. Now, if that wasn't fun enough, I get to go back on Saturday, because this was sort of a preamble to the actual birthday party. This was just the photo op. The mother wanted a photo op. And so on Saturday, I get to go back, and now I think it's going to be 12 2-year-olds. So that's what I will be doing. I will be doing that on Saturday. It was fun. It was all right. So that's the update, everybody. I'm now a children's birthday party character actor. Oh, I totally forgot why I was bringing this up. Aside from the absurdity of that. In a very random twist of fate. So I have never heard of Blippi until yesterday. And I find out I have this gig, and the owner of the company says, by the way, you're playing Blippi. I'm like, I don't know who that is. So I YouTube Blippi. I watch a handful of videos to get an idea of his character and his mannerisms and to get an idea of his songs, right? Then today, I am subscribed to all of these casting networks that have available like roles in Los Angeles. Because I'm non-union in Los Angeles and stuff, so I can self-submit to stuff. And I'm scrolling through these emails. I get about 100 a day, and I get so many that I barely even pay attention to them because a lot of them are, smaller projects or indie projects or just stuff that I wouldn't be interested in. Every once in a while, something will catch my eye, and I'll go like, oh, that might be fun to submit to. And how it works is you submit to be considered to audition. So they put up the casting notice. You say, hey, I'm interested in this, and you submit your profile to the casting director. And then the casting director goes through everybody who submitted, and then they go, I would like to see an audition from these actors. And then if they do that, then they reach out, and then you can, now it's all self-tapes. It used to be that they would actually schedule an audition with you, and you would go audition in person. That doesn't really happen anymore since COVID. But anyway, so I'm scrolling through, and I see an audition notification come up for Blippi, the actual YouTube show. And I'm going, what are the chances that just yesterday I find out that this character exists and I'm being hired to go play this character, and now there's an audition for a character on one of his shows? And I probably shouldn't talk the specifics because you can get in trouble for that. But I submitted for the role. Now the role isn't for Blippi. It's for another character as part of the show. But I submitted to it, and I got an audition request. So on the same day that I'm hired to play Blippi, I got an audition to be on the actual Blippi show. So I will be submitting that audition here in the next day or so, and who knows? Maybe I book it. So just a random little coincidence, everybody. So that is the update on the dreams over here for me pursuing acting and comedy. And I'll tell you, it's just a wild ride. Whatever it is you're going for out there, I hope your dreams are coming true and that you are having fun experiences and maybe not so fun experiences so that you further appreciate the good ones. And, maybe you have some cool little synchronistic coincidences that just sort of make life fun. The fact that I became Blippi and then got an audition to be on Blippi all on the same day. Fun little coincidence, whatever that means. All right, everybody, that is going to end it for me today for June 12th, 2024, episode 196. I love you all so much. Thank you for listening, and I will check in with you tomorrow.